Hello, and welcome to the Anime Academy. I am your headmaster, Paolo.
And I'm Zakk.
Class is now in session, so this week we are going to be talking about a lovely anime that is called Devilman Crybaby. For those of us who are unfamiliar with Devilman Crybaby, Devilman Crybaby is about two friends, Akira and Rio. Rio has discovered that ancient demons have returned to Earth once more. Akira becomes a Devilman, which means he has the heart and mind of a human while having the body of a demon. Now, this is not a family-friendly anime. Uh, I would say this is 18 plus, so to our younger viewers, please don't watch this. We will not be responsible for any um, nightmares and or other things that you may encounter. This show deals with a lot of sexual themes, a lot of murder and blood. So if those are not your things off the bat, maybe you don't watch it. But for those of us who are just like, yeah, it's whatever, welcome. This is gonna be your kind of show.
Yeah, Devilman Crybaby is really, really interesting. Deals with topics such as puberty, sexuality, sex, love, LGBT identity. Um, and on top of all of this, I don't know, it does so in similar to, I guess, the same topic as Parasite we were talking about. It brings up huge philosophical questions, brings up questions of humanity, what makes us human, what is the point? Are humans good? Um, Makes you question where you draw the line between good and evil. Um,
Yeah,
so the 2018 series Devilman Crybaby was based on the original Devilman manga and anime. The manga ran from 1972 to 73, and the episodes of the anime came out shortly after. So both the anime and manga started in 72, and I think the anime concluded just a couple weeks after the manga was finished. So they were written basically at the same time,
right.
side by side. It's not something that you see very often now, right?
Yeah, it's not like the good old days anymore. You gotta wait months just to see one chapter of anime be animated, which is just fine. Like I'd rather wait so it's not rushed, but at the same time, like you always want something like right, like as soon as it's been published, okay, where's the episode for it?
Right. Devilman Crybaby is the fifth time that we've seen Devilman on screen, that being the original series, two films, and another short series.
Yeah, which the other series of Devilman was made in 1987. So the good old 80s, just throwing some Devilman. What a time to be alive. So, but what I find cool about the 2018 Netflix adaptation Devilman Crybaby is the play on words in the title. So you have Devilman Crybaby. Devilman being like the demonic side of Akira, and the crybaby being his very emotional side. For those of us who have watched the show, you will know that Akira has a tendency to cry a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean almost every episode. So I found that was clever that they threw in the crybaby at the end. Uh, so there's that. Um, what I would like to talk about now is how at the start of the series, one of the first shots is our Earth, our home, and all these not multicolored, all these orbs just slowly fall onto the Earth until the entire Earth is covered in these orbs. Now, some of them are white, some of them are purple. This is obviously very symbolic of both good and bad balancing out Earth, because it tells us in the anime that before there were humans, there was just demons and monsters just um, having a grand old time on Earth, not just chilling out, trying to survive. It's to kill or to be killed. And the merciful God was not like, having it at all. So he's like, I'm just gonna wipe all of you guys out, and we're gonna put some humans to actually take care of this proper planet.
Right.
However, that didn't work as well. Yes, he had vanquished all of the demons and monsters, but he wasn't expecting Satan to come again, which we will know later in the series that will be Rio. So once Rio is in the picture, God's like didn't think about it until, you know, what happens at the end of the series, which we will get to in a moment. But I just thought it was very symbolic how the series starts with these very mystical orbs, and then at the climax at the end of the show, it happens again. I found that to be very, very full circle, and it also questions, like we have said with many animes that we have watched, who is really good and who is really bad. Because at the end, we see Rio crying for the first time ever throughout the entire series.
Right.
So, was he really bad? Was it just like a misunderstanding, or was it just, he lost his best friend, his love, and now he's just gone.
So I have some facts drawn up on here. Um, some of them we already know,
Yeah, yeah,
others maybe not. So the first thing up here is obviously the series is based off of Devilman.
you don't
Um,
say.
yes, crazy. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people may be unaware that it is based off of another series, right?
What's also cool about Devilman Crybaby, the 2019 version, is throughout the show you can see the OG Devilman on television
Mm-hmm.
in some of the scenes. I found that to be such a cute little Easter egg. That's like, oh, they're like, that's it. So, and they also mention it
Right.
because it's like, I'm not a demon, I'm a Devilman. I'm like, you smart people, y'all are smart.
Yeah, it's interesting because they live in a world that is, similar to our own. The show does exist. It is
Yeah.
regarded as a work of fiction. Now, with that in mind, I mean, I don't know. Is it some Simpsons case? Did the writers of Devilman in this universe predict the future?
Ooh. I mean, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes down in this series, so I wouldn't be surprised if like, oh yeah, like we predicted the future. Okay, sure. Sure. Let's go with that.
It's
I'll take that.
interesting to have a piece of media that, literally accurately describes the crazy, unexpected things that are happening in their world.
Right.
Let's see. So obviously, this isn't the happiest story.
Not by any means necessary.
I don't know if you've checked out any of the Devilman content, um, the films
I
or
know there's
anything.
like Devilman Lady, Devilman something. There's like a devil. There's always Devilman blank, but that's the only thing I read about today.
Honestly, and I don't know, maybe this is not a very favored opinion, but I very much so prefer the original animation style of Devilman
Really?
to this series. Yeah,
What is it, because there's a lot that goes on in the 2018 version, or it's you like the simplicity of the older versions?
I would argue the opposite. I think the new version of the animation is too stripped down and basic,
Okay.
which I appreciate the approach that they took to it, but I think for me it just felt unpolished.
You felt like they could have done more with it.
Yeah, I mean, to me it felt like this was storyboarding. Like this was the rough sketches, the plans for the animation that hadn't gone through its final steps of processing. And like I understand, like that's just the nature of this style of animation.
Hmm.
And some people really, really love it. I don't know. I guess I'm more drawn to the original Devilman animation
Yeah,
than
I
this
mean,
style.
the late 80s and early 90s animation style, that's very nostalgic for some people who grew up watching those kind of animes. But for those of us who didn't watch it, I can only speak for myself personally. Since it was something so obscure and different and unique, I really fell in love with the animation. Yeah, it kind of almost looked half baked, but there's something about it that's different that you don't usually see with animations nowadays.
Right.
So that's what I really liked about it.
Really, really lovable characters.
Yeah,
Really, really cool characters. Um, it's interesting the potential that exists with having a whole bunch of different uh, people who are half demon. Like, he's not the sole devil man,
correct.
right? There's others, but I don't know. I feel like the series didn't do as much with that as they probably could have or should have.
I eh, my only like I'm gonna say it now. I love this series. Like I would watch it again and again. I would never
Yeah,
get
yeah,
bored of it. The only thing I would have loved if we got to see more Devilmen earlier on, so we get to know some of them a little bit better, as opposed to
right.
just throwing them at the end to like save the world. But what world are they really saving at
Yeah,
this point?
yeah, yeah. Um, I loved this show because it had real consequences.
Yep.
There's never overpowered main character can fight his way out of this situation. He's a crybaby, not because he's weak. He's a crybaby because he goes through a lot of
I mean,
really hard and powerful stuff.
okay, let's just talk about the first episode. Absolute chaos,
Oh
like it
boy.
was. I really want to stress this again. This is a very intense, sexualized show. So again, I just need to preface this. This has like an 18 plus warning for our younger viewers at home and or people who are not about, seeing animated boobs like right in front of their face. So, but having that first episode and everyone is just at the Sabbath, which is like the party that people go to maybe get possessed by a demon, and just really driving in the fact that yes, there are demons and just this crazy ass party where people are like half naked and or naked, banging, drinking, smoking, doing all the most ungodly things possible. I feel that I was hooked from the first episode alone. Because
Hmm.
that's how you do a first episode. You want to draw your audience in, and then once we see Akira get taken over by the demon Armon, he just goes absolutely mental. And just my favorite scene of that is just when he grabs one of the demons and just rips him open in two. I was like, holy
Hmm.
crap, this is so cool. And another, I just and I what I like about certain animes are the color schemes. And the first half of Devilman, like up to episode 5, it has a pretty bright and or very multicolored color scheme to it. And then once shit starts to hit the fan, all the colors get dimmed and darker until it's basically just utter, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not chaos. It's basically just
Pandemonium.
pandemonium. It's strictly just pandemonium. And there is like there's an old saying that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel got blown up, degraded, not degraded, dismantled, blown over, burnt, and the ashes were snorted by the demons. So there's no light at the end of the tunnel for Devilman Crybaby. But again, shout out to Psychic Jenny at the end for her ability just to produce all these. I thought that was such a cool scene where Psychic Jenny, it's like, I'm just gonna stand here and I'm gonna shoot all this light, and you guys are gonna just melt. That's such a cool ability.
Hmm.
And that was a really cool scene because all like the soldiers or like the people trying to like kill her were like very dark, and then just boom, all this light. I was like, whoa, it's such a really cool contrast and dynamic in that one scene. And it was like a 10-second thing, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in an anime.
Mm.
What I also would like to bring to attention, and what I've not seen in any anime that I've watched, I don't know if you've seen this, how these group of rappers were the unspoken MCs of the entire show. They kind of narrated, they were the driving force of this entire show. And I didn't notice it at first. I thought they were just spitting bars about the world, and then I watched it again. I was like,
Hmm.
they're telling the plot about how the world is so shitty. I thought it
It's
was so cool.
it's really cool. It's sort of a modern take on a Greek chorus.
Oh my God.
Really, really
Yeah,
cool how it's
1000%.
done.
Yeah, I would love for them to play at my wedding. Hopefully I can schedule them. I know they just went through a lot. I don't know if. Okay, also, hold on. Back up. I didn't notice this the first time I watched this, but Miki just ate her boy toy, one of the dudes in the rap group, and I didn't notice that until I watched it again. I was like, bro,
Hmm.
are you kidding me? I was so mad. I literally, I stopped watching. I'm like, I'm so pissed at her right now. For what? I can't remember his name, but he was the first one to actually like talk to her and be like, hey, like, what's good? Like, I'm trying to be your friend. And she let him be his friend. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, just, he dies. Okay, that makes perfect sense. You do you. I was pissed as hell
Mm.
that, first of all, pissed as hell that I didn't see it the first time I watched it. Second, that she did it. Because I was like, man, he was so cool. He wrote like a poem and then he rapped it and then it was about her. And she's like, wow, like, thank you so much. And then her demon side's like, yeah, fuck that. Let's eat the bitch.
Honestly, yeah, like okay, there's a lot of really powerful moments in this show, most of which I think all happened towards the end of the series. But
Mhm.
that one was definitely one of them. Just hearing him perform that for her,
Yeah, and
so crazy.
it's going on for like 2 minutes and like you're invested in it. I'm like, wow, he's really in love with this girl. And he was just like spitting bars like da 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 da. Da. And then she kind of just sitting there like jaw to the floor and then went through the floor into like the bedrock of the earth. And I, wow, just that scene alone was just amazing.
Hmm.
So good.
All right, Paula. So if there's demons, it stands to reason that there's angels as well. With that said, you know, obviously we don't really see angels on Earth in this series
Right.
until, well, there's maybe one exception to that rule, but
Correct.
we don't really see angels. So what's the deal with that?
My personal opinion is so, of course, we have God and Satan, polar opposites. So, God is in heaven or the higher ups, and they're just chilling. They're just seeing this happen, and they're just like, wow, that's crazy. That's so crazy that's just happening. We're just gonna sit this one. You know, God and the angels are like Switzerland. They're just the peacekeepers. It's like, you know what? We're just gonna let them do their thing, and then we'll
Hmm.
come in once we're needed. And although it would have been so cool if the Devilman and demons are going at it, and then the sky just parts, and all these angels just start falling down, and then they wipe out everybody, and then the orbs come in. But could the orbs be angels and or devils that fall onto the earth again?
Yeah, fair
So maybe
enough.
we do see them.
I mean, the other thing is too, right? Like, sure, we see demons as bad, but if there's angels and all they're doing is standing by watching this happen, if they're not actively doing anything to help humanity, then are they good?
Right. I, I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, we have the Devilmen, we have the demons. Why aren't the angels coming? Like, wouldn't God be wouldn't he be all over this? He's seeing a very weird and divine war going on between, well, first it was between the humans and the demons, and then that ended, and then it was the Devilman and the demons. And by that point, wouldn't God be like, okay, maybe we need to step in because if this not resolved, it's gonna end badly for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think that, but I guess God's like, you made this mess, you cleaning yourself.
It
I
all
made the earth, but I didn't ask for this.
it begs the question: is God good?
It also begs the question: was there a God in the world of Devilman
Yeah, is there
Crybaby?
a God, or do we just see this war between angels and demons? Do the demons see humanity as a necessary sacrifice?
Well, yes, because one of them said, I can't remember who, they're like, we were here first before anybody. This was our home before the humans came about. So they're gonna fight for their home. So demons will do anything, and they have done all that they can do to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But also, humanity has evolved so much since the demons have come. And what I liked about Devil May Cry Baby is their incorporation of social media and the modern day
Right.
world into it. Because, I mean, back in, the good old days of demons, there wasn't, TikTok and Twitter and,
Mm-hmm.
like the demons weren't doing the renegade dance, let's just say that. But many centuries and millenniums later, you have the use of social media where someone can say, "Oh, this person's a demon," and then everyone will just believe it with not doing critical thinking and
Yeah.
upon further research, it's like, okay, this person actually not a demon. But word can get by so fast, and when the episode where they're at the big track meet and they're trying to expose Coda, that entire scene where Rio plays the scenes from the Sabbath sex party
Yeah.
and it unleashes that demon, and everyone has the internet, so they're broadcasting and everyone's talking about it. I thought that was so beautifully well done, and it just goes to show that anything can happen within a second, and it only takes another second to go viral and to get everyone to start talking about it.
It speaks volumes to contemporary society.
Yeah, 1000%. So, like I've said before, Devilman Crybaby does not have the happiest of ending. There's no Prince Charming that swoops in and, saves everybody. Everyone fucking dies. There is no happy ending. But what I found so cool about how they got to the ending is they really showed Akira the very human side. They really put that as the forefront first. So
Right.
he was staying with his friends because his parents were doctors, I believe.
Yeah, they were doctors who were traveling all the time. So
Correct.
in order for him
So
to go to school, they had him stationed with his friends.
correct. So you not only do you know his actual biological family, you get to know his extended family with his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And how every scene they're at the dinner table and then everything is happy and good. What killed me, and it did when I watched it the first time, and it killed me again the second time, was when Toro ended up being a demon and he ate his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I was absolutely crushed. Oh my God. And he's like, I thought it was so ironic too, that he's like, yeah, this is so cool. Demons are taking over people. Like, this is great. And then cut to him literally eating his mother and him crying, like, ah.
Mm-hmm.
And then his dad, like, had to shoot him. Like,
But does
he
his
had to,
dad even shoot him? I know he stands there with the gun pointed, but I don't think he ever finds it in himself to pull the trigger, does he?
let me go to my notes.
I know
Um,
the dad gets killed by police or something for holding a gun up to civilians.
so then does Taro die? Taro dies.
I don't think we ever see that happen.
Oh shit.
It's assumed that, maybe, hopefully, but we don't
But
know.
I just that scene where he's just holding the gun. He's like, Taro, like, what the hell, man? Like, what? Oh, I just found that to be, if like, I found that scene to be so heartbreaking
Mm-hmm.
because Taro was a kid. He was literally like 6, maybe 7, 8,
Yeah.
and he was so like so happy with life, and he loved his sister and he loved Akira, and obviously his parents. Um, and when just that scene where he eats the dog, and he's like, I couldn't stop myself, like I was hungry, and the dog was right there, and his mom's like, okay, we're just gonna like run away, because that's the best option to do when your child is possessed by a demon.
Right.
Sure, mom, let's go to this camp out in the middle of a city and hope that no one sees us.
What was also really powerful for me, I think, is when um, humanity is all turning on each other and they've got people tied up and stuff.
Yeah, that was fucked. That was
Got people
so
tied
fucked.
up, and Akira steps in, and stands in front of them. Says, "You want to
Yeah,
take out your anger? Take it out on me. These people are
yeah.
not demons. I am not a demon."
What do they think? Okay, they haven't changed into a demon. Maybe they're not. Maybe we went wrong. And it literally took Akira to get. He was cut up. He was bruised. You could see his blood just
Mm-hmm.
pouring out of him. And that one kid's like, I trust him. And then another kid comes, and another kid comes, and everyone's like, you know what? Maybe we did something wrong. I would feel if I was tied up and people were throwing rocks at me and doing the most disturbing things possible, I would be fuming. I dare accuse me under no hardcore evidence. I feel Judge Judy needed to be present in order for there to be
God.
an actual like legislative jury and executioner. Can you imagine Judge Judy just being like, you know what, you know what, you lie, you look like shit. Don't come to my courtroom like that. Go to censure.
Judge Judy is a devil man.
I would.
Judge Judy is tired of your shit.
Judge Judy's tired of the way demons are perceived in the world. Why do you think her show is the most successful show right now? She's the Devil Man. But the last scene of the show, where Rio and Akira are on that rock and the earth is in absolute shambles, that entire fight scene with the Devil Man and the demons was so beautifully animated,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my favorite fight scenes ever, period. And then he's just talking to Rio to be like, hey man, like we did it, like just hey, how's it going? And then he looks to Akira, and Akira is, you know, half of his body has been blown off.
Right.
And for, and for that little second, Rio's like, I have killed my best friend in the entire world over what? Over humanity? Humanity's gone. Humanity's
Mm-hmm.
out the door, booked flight, booked and busy, goodbye. Not everyone's gone. It's literally they're the only two beings on the planet at the time that we know of.
Yeah.
I don't know where everybody else was. Maybe they were having another sex party in hell. I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised. But it hurt. I felt bad for Rio for like a second. I was like, man, you should have killed him. You should have like, come to your senses. But at the same time, it's like you caused all this, you little
Mm-hmm.
shit. You caused the end of the earth and all of humanity over just for power. It's a struggle for power, so you can define God and be the best. On that note, thank you guys for listening to another weird episode of the Anime Academy. Please remember to like and subscribe. Share with a friend. Share with a friend who you know that has also watched Devilman Crybaby, and then you guys could probably have a conversation about it, which I think that could be a really cool conversation about it if both of you have watched it before. Um, so yeah, this has been Anime Academy. I'm your headmaster, Paolo.
And I'm Zakk.
Class is dismissed. We will see you guys next week, where we will be talking about Naruto.
Yes.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to be reminiscing over some of our favorite moments from Naruto and, I don't know, maybe doing something fun related to the series.
Ooh, so you guys should stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you everyone for listening.
Take care, everybody.